guys, how are you doing? This is your girl Beth Awino and I'm back with another video, and today I have a special guest on my set. I will allow him to introduce himself.
How are you everyone? My name is Austin. Beth is my friend, and I'm here today to talk about a few things about life here in Doha or life abroad in general. So take it away.
Yeah, so guys, we are speaking about how living abroad has affected our life, and we are going to share a few points, and at the end we love to hear your views. Okay, let's go straight to the video. Okay, so guys, going to have a conversation with Austin here. Is going to tell us how has life affected, moving outside the country has affected you. Just share with us.
Okay, so moving away from the country, going abroad to work, it has its advantages and disadvantages. And if I can mention a few advantages of moving away from the country, I can start with something like empowerment, because as we all know that in our country, back at home, we have different problems, especially things to do with unemployment. So moving here has provided me specifically an opportunity that I felt like I didn't have back at home. So I think in the sense that it has given me a job opportunity that is very competitive back at home, but I didn't find it as competitive here than it is at home. So that's just I think an advantage of moving away from the country. And so of course there are a few other things that comes with that, things like just having to look into life in a different way, having a different experience of life. I think there is a little bit of exposure, if I can put it like that. Yeah, I think there is so many things around here that we don't get to experience back at home, and it just gets to open your mind in a different kind of way, look into life in a different kind of way, and it's a good thing because you definitely have like kind of a variety of ways of life, or you have to experience a different way of life than what you're used to. So I think that's another thing that's a big advantage of moving from your country to another country to get to experience it.
Wait, on empowerment, let me ask you, is there something that you have done while you're here that you are not able to do while back in the country?
Well, yes, definitely, yes, because I remember when I was working back at home, because when I moved to Qatar, I was already working back at home. So if I compare my income back at home and my income here, definitely my income here has gone up. Definitely, otherwise I wouldn't, obviously, because otherwise I wouldn't have moved here. So yeah, so definitely, yeah, there has been an increase of my, how much I get in terms of money, and that has empowered me really to do a couple of things back at home, like investments and doing a few things here and there, especially business, starting small businesses. So yeah, there is empowerment in working abroad in terms of that area.
So, like queens, like princess, so it's a very special thing to know compared to back in my country or any other country. I'm sure everybody is treated maybe equal, or some ladies are not given that priority like here. So that is a nice thing that I'm enjoying right here. And another thing is interacting with different cultures, different people. Like when I was back in my country, I knew any light skin is a white person. But coming here, I got to differentiate, not every light skinned person is a white. There are different categories, Asians, I don't know, Europeans, I don't know what, and there is no that excitement that before we used to run after. When we see any light-skinned person, we are running after them, and back at home we think they are white. So that also, that I think it's an exposure kind of the way Austin has talked about it. Yeah, I think those are what I can add on. So we are going to go to the cons. Okay, so Austin, you will take it up.
Before we go to that, we just mention a few something about working with different other people, you know, it opens up your mind, because you get to interact with people from different places, and you get to understand their ways of life, and I think that's very important, because for example, back at home, you're used to, if you interact with a different person, then it's just maybe someone from a different tribe whom you might not be so much different from, you know, like we share most of beliefs,
common things,
common things. We share most of belief. We might have one and two differences in terms of our cultural beliefs, but the environment is the same. We share so many things, so it's the mindset is basically almost the same. But when you come here, you meet really like a totally different environment with people. So you get to experience so many different types of ways of life, which just opens you up and opens up your mind in a different kind of way. That is, I might not be able to explain exactly how much it opens up your mind, but it's very important.
Yeah,
it's very important to get to experience different ways of life from, you know, people from all sorts of walks, you know.
So like your mind is not fixed. It opens.
And again, communication with them, because I remember when I was new here, it was very difficult for me to communicate with these people. But now I get to, I find it really easy. I've kind of like adjusted to this environment, and I find it really easy to communicate with them. Only that I'm starting to grow some accents that I don't want to take back home, but yes, it's but it happens. It's just one of those things that you get to experience in life, and you know, this is life. You get to experience different things, and it's just everything is an advantage.
Okay, the cons of staying outside the country or staying.
Well, like when we were starting the video, I mentioned that moving away from the country has, you know, the positive sides and the negative sides. So definitely we have a few negative things to talk about also when we are moving away from the country. And the first thing is actually just, the fact that you are moving away from your family, and especially if you are moving into a place where you actually don't know people, like you probably know no one about, you know, there's no one you know in that place, then it affects you. It affects you personally. It affects your thinking and just how you are doing things. So when you get to a new environment, before you adapt to that environment and set yourself moving forward, it might take time. So of course, I know that depends from one person to another, how much you can get to adapt easily in a different environment. But moving away from your family is just one thing that for me was I think was a major issue, because when I came here, for example, if I can talk about myself, when I came here, I kind of find it difficult to keep up with my family back at home, and I think I kind of miss them a lot in the beginning. So that was a disadvantage, really.
But now you maybe at least I'm sure you found a way to at least.
Of course, when you stay in a place, you get to adapt to that environment. You get used to your new life. So after some time, I got used to it. It started feeling normal. It was my normal now. So it started feeling normal, and with time, it got to a point where it's just really normal now.
Okay. Maybe just to add on that, another big thing is culture shock. You find so many different things that you haven't been used to, so many things, until you were like, oh my god, you're in a different world. So this has been big, and we talked about culture shock here. I will put the video up here. Please go watch much details. I will not talk in details, just go and watch that one. And another thing is the cost of living. Oh my god, the cost of living here is crazy. Even despite you getting a higher salary, and here the good thing also, the salary is not taxed, but when at the end of the month, what you get when you compare income versus expenses, it's really high. But we learn to adapt. We can't complain, but have just to get used to it. Any other point, Austin?
I mean, if we can talk about what you just mentioned, actually, the cost of living here. If I can just give like an advice for someone who would like to move, from home to this country, I would say that before you move here, like you really have to do your research well and kind of get to understand the way of life and the cost of living here vis-a-vis what you might be earning when you get here, because when we got here, I got to realize that things are really, I can say, cheaper or way cheap in Kenya, like especially food stuff and even clothing and everything. So cost of life is very high here. Things are expensive. So yeah, if just like an advice, if you are coming from home and you're going to Qatar or a different other country, just try to understand the cost of living. Do your research, get to understand the cost of living there, and then try to compare that with what you will be earning there. It might help you a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
And there is another big thing, gender inequality. I think I'll leave this to Austin to explain further, because he has experience. You'll have to give us some scenarios. Please just talk about it.
Yeah. This one is really different, because back at home it kind of feels like the boy child, if I can say, the boy child is kind of like have a higher stake back at home. But when I came here, I got to realize that it's actually the opposite of that. Ladies here, you guys are getting more, how will I put it, like
attention or priority.
Yeah, I think you guys have been given a priority.
Almost
everything, like every little thing that is around here that you need to do, like things that move life every single other time. Ladies are given, an opportunity to do them first or to experience them first. So
ladies and family.
Yeah, ladies and family. So this place, from my own experience, is kind of like not a place for bachelors. You gotta get married. You better get married before you come here, guys, because things are way easy for people who are married and ladies. I don't know why they consider ladies as family. Yeah, I don't know,
I think
because
because
bachelors are only. Bachelors are only unmarried men, unmarried men, and we kind of find it difficult to get, especially this simple government. Another thing to do with a disadvantage actually from working away from home is something to do with social life. Back at home, we are so used to moving around and, okay, that's the life you have grown up in. So definitely when you come here, things are a little bit different. And one thing that I think also contributes to the social life being different here is just the way of transport, I think. The transportation here is not very convenient the way it is back at home, and for that reason it becomes very difficult to move from one point to another. You have to rely on taxis, and especially when we first came here, there was no metro. So definitely if you want to go somewhere over the weekends, then you have to take taxi, and it's very expensive to take taxi from one place to another. And if you want to make like different stops, it becomes difficult. And another thing that makes that difficult also is the weather. Weather here is so different from weather back at home. It gets to a point where it's very hot, especially during summer, like right now. It's very hot, and you either have to just stay indoors, or if you have to go somewhere, then again you have to go to outside. I mean, like, you cannot have an open.
It's not free to move.
Yeah. So even if you go somewhere, it has to be something indoors. It has to be, even if it's an activity, it has to be an indoor activity. So for people who love sports like me, who would like to go out there and play football, it's limited. And that's something that, for me is very important. I know so many other people who would want to do one or two things. Definitely not only football, but a lot of things that people would want to do, out in the open space, which you cannot really do here that well. So to that extent, there are many other things that limit social life here. Yeah.
Okay, just to add on that, personally, social life, I think I will say staying here has made me lose some sort of my values or my dignity in a certain way because of so many limited things that does not enable you to freely interact, to freely move around, to freely do what you're used to do.
And you get to lose your friends also.
Yeah, of
you
course.
You get to lose your friends because, you know, if you lose touch with your friends, and then definitely with the time, as time goes, because when you keep yourself indoors, you cannot keep friendship by just, you know, communicating over phone. Friendship is it involves a lot. You have to meet, you have to do things together and,
to keep the bond.
Exactly. So if that is limited, then definitely something is lost in the middle, and that friendship is not that tight. So yeah, it's a disadvantage also.
Okay, so guys, we are going to end this video here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your time. Please share with us in the comment section if you ever went outside your country. How has it affected you? If you're planning to go outside, also please consider this point. Do your research before moving out of your country. You might be moving from the frying pan to the fire, or whichever. So just do your due diligence. Okay, please like this video, share it out, and subscribe if you haven't. Okay, bye bye. Talk to you in my next video.
Bye.